Welcome back to KK's Quilt Studio, my fellow brother ScanNCut user friends, and this video is primarily for my geeky quilting friends who also use Art and Stitch computerized quilting and embroidery software. We've been using CanvasWorkspace and the Canvas program in some of our classes and transferring files from Canvas, the Brother ScanNCut software, to our Art and Stitch and even into Electric Quilt. So if you're interested in any of those programs or classes, if you happen to have those, join me over at my website and join my Quilting Geek class. Anyway, the other day when I logged on to my ScanNCut software, it's springtime here, and I guess Brother thinks they need to do a little spring cleaning or spring updating, and they have. They have updated their online web cloud program Canvas to CanvasWorkspace recently, and did some updates to machines. So if you go on to this CanvasWorkspace Brother site, check down at the bottom scrolls for updates for your machines. And now they have an additional program called CanvasWorkspace for the PC. And when you go to log in, a window will pop up for you to download. So before you go into the workspace area, you have an option to download this new offline program, and it's totally optional, but I think it's got some new features, and I'm going to go through some of those in this video and introduce you to the new offline Canvas Workspace for the PC. So go ahead and go down here, download it. It is only for Windows right now. I'm sorry, Mac users. Maybe Brother will come out with something soon for you all. And I've already updated this, so we'll get to it in just a moment. You'll see that your Canvas Workspace is still the same as it was before. You have your Canvas projects, and you still can go into the old Canvas Workspace online software to create a project. You also have your projects that you may have stored in the cloud online. But this new program, this is it. This is the offline Canvas Workspace, so you don't have to be attached to the internet. You'll see that it has tabs up here at the left, just like any other Windows program. And what I told you before, we're just going to go through some of the highlights of this program. I'm not going to give you a full-blown on how to use tutorial. We also have a ribbon up here, so when we select the shapes and bring something onto the workspace, you'll see that that ribbon changes, and the item that I have selected, I can do different things with it. We have our select tool, or it says hand tool, pan tool, zoom. We have we can insert a number if we wish, the ratio we wish to zoom to. A new feature, drop down menu for cut or draw. We can change the fill color. So if we click on that, we should get a pop-up menu to fill in color. There it is. And we can change that box to a blue. And then we have the outline color. And we also have the choice of making that outline thicker if we wish. So you can use the arrows, and you'll see the outline is getting thicker. That doesn't change the cut, the way it cuts, but just the visually, the way we see it, so we can see it easier. Art and Stitch users, you'll recognize this. We have a property screen also to the right of our work area, and again, it repeats some of the tools that we found across the horizontal toolbar up above. Our cut or draw options or color, the line width. If we have fonts, when we get to the text part, that'll be filling in. Then we also have the edit tool. Now you'll notice there is an XY axis, and that has to do with the location. That refers to this point here on to the upper left of the box that we've drawn. And so if you need to pinpoint with accuracy where something is on your workspace, you can do that. We have height, and that again, we're able to type that right in. Maintain aspect ratio means that when we change one number, it will change accordingly in the height. We can rotate a particular angle if we need an exact angle. We can enter the number. We also can just drag around. You'll see we've changed that to 89 instead of, say, a 90-degree rotation. Flip and mirror, and then we can, if we have more than one item on the work area, we have our alignment tools, process overlap, which is our weld divide tools, and then the offset. Clicking down, we have layers. So again, if we have more than one item on our work table, sort of like the sequence view in Art and Shape, it gives us a list of the items that we have, and of course tells us that it's a cut file or a draw file, and then we can toggle on and off the visibility so we can hide things, but don't forget them. Then we have the artboard. So we have the choice, if you have a newer machine with the 12 by 20 formats, we can change that to the 12 by 24. We can toggle between inches and metric just by the selecting in the drop down menu. We can turn this purple ruler that goes down the side of the workspace on and off. I wish they had it closer up to the mat, but that's just what I'd like. We can turn on and off the mat image, show or not show the grid image. And then a new feature is called Snap to Grid. If you're Art and Stitch user, you'll recognize that. So when you turn that on, your items will snap to the corners of your grid. You can also change the grid spacing. Over here, when I brought up shapes, you'll notice now that the shapes are a little more organized into squares, rectangles. So they're organized by their shape or their recognition of the shape, which I like. It makes it easier to track down rather than having to scroll down the whole list to find what is needed in particular. Then we have our borders. They're still there. And of course our word art, and it's just entitled Word. There is now a new text tool, and you'll see that the ribbon again changed when I clicked on that T, and now from the drop down menu we have all of our text that was previously available. But look, when you keep scrolling down, there's all these new TrueType fonts, so you don't have to import them any longer. And whatever you have on your computer is now available to use in the offline Brother CanvasWorkspace. So that's kind of a cool feature. Your import SVG tool is right here, so you can click on that, bring in SVG or FCM files. Here is a image tracing, so you can take a JPEG or bitmap file and trace the image, and of course your drawing tools. So most importantly, when you're ready to close down for the day or ready to save a file, I don't know why they didn't put a shortcut, but maybe it'll be soon in a new update. Go under File and go down to Save As. So what we want to do now, what we have so that we can come back to things, are a working file. So you'll see this file is going to be saved with an extension of CWP RJ. So like in Art and Stitch, we would save a working file with a file extension of ANS. This one you can come back to, make changes to. This is the working file, and you should always save your work in this format. So I've saved one here. Go ahead and click Save. Give it, of course, give it a title that you'll recognize, and save it in some location of your computer where you normally store all your ScanNCut files, or save it to a offline cloud. And then you have the choice of saving the native cut file format, either exporting it or transferring it wirelessly if you have one of the newer wireless machines. And I'll go ahead and export an SVM file. So this is a cut file. So when you are finished with your work and ready to take it over to your machine or transfer it wirelessly, this is the format you need to save in. That other file, the working file, is not a cut file, so you will not see anything if you save that file and take it to your machine. So you'll want to save your work, your final work, when you're ready to cut, in an FCM file format. So I hope that gives you a brief overview of what's new, and I hope you'll take the opportunity to play around with the new Windows version, the offline version of CanvasWorkspace. I've had a lot of fun with it, and so until I see you the next time in the next video, I wish you happy sewing.